2019. On the show today, it's a sandwich-themed news roundup. And in our main segment, we talk to podcaster and all-around Disney mensch, Mike Scopa, about our recent trips to Walt Disney World. Before we do all that, let's bring in the man who points out that a Plastic Surgery Addicts Anonymous meeting is the worst place to see new faces every week. It's Mr. Jim Hill. Jim, how's it going?
It's going well, Len, but you're actually hitting upon one of my pet peeves about going to California.
Plastic surgery.
You know, you're out and you want to be polite, but when you see extremely bad plastic surgery, it's hard not to stare. That was the effect you're going on? Perpetually surprised?
I was going to go with you keep meeting friends that you've known for a long time, but you don't recognize them because of the surgery. Steve!
There you go.
Oh, that was you 2 eyebrows ago. Yeah. I get it. Jim, let's do a quick shout out to subscribers over at disneydish.bandcamp.com. Thanks to new subscribers CT Believer, Emily P, and Sally in Europe. And longtime subscribers D. Dirk, Jody F, and Troy K. Jim, not only are these folks subscribers to our podcast, they've all been caretakers of Tom Sawyer Island in the Magic Kingdom at one time or another. Supposedly, you're caretaker until you strike it rich in the mines, then you retire and you hand off the job to the person you deem most worthy. That's how Sally ended up in Europe. True story.
Speaking of Tom Sawyer Island, I know you've gotten your copy of Mark Davis in his own words.
We talked about it on the last show, Jim. I ordered it while we were talking about it. It came last week. I spent the weekend reading it. It is fantastic.
The real treasure of this book is you get so many projects that Mark worked on that did not go forward. Right. And in fact, there's that whole section where they show Disney World had just opened in 1971, and Mark was actually tasked with doing a lot of expansion projects. And there's this whole set of proposed additions to Tom Sawyer's Island.
Oh, I haven't got to that section yet. I'm still in the Jungle Cruise section.
Okay, that's volume 2 of this 700-page book.
Yeah, so. I'm still in volume. Oh, we'll have to do a show on this.
Okay.
I think we should do a show on the whole book, though, just to talk about sort of the highlights, and it may be a series.
At the very least, Len, we should do the exercise video that involves lifting the book.
Honest to God, listeners, when Amazon sent the book, it actually had a warning label on the outside warning you about how heavy the book was and to lift with your legs, not making it up. True story.
So bend and stretch and read.
All right, Jim, let's do the news. The Disney Dish News is brought to you by Storybook Destinations, trusted travel partner of the Disney Dish podcast. For a worry-free travel experience every time, book online at storybookdestinations.com. Jim, last week we mentioned that Disney had changed the names of the food at Galaxy's Edge to simple things that everyone can understand. And that policy lasted, 3 days?
Oh, if that.
Because on Monday, the old names were back. Jim, what's going on here?
First of all, we weren't supposed to notice this. This was strictly a test to see if they went with easier to understand names or that sort of thing, right. Whether or not there'd be any significant change in how quickly people ordered or sales for the day. And after this 3-day test, it was a wash. They're not having the types of sales that they want at Docking Bay 7 or Ronto's Roasters. And now it's a question of, well, is it the physical setup or is it the situation? I mean, for example, you think about Ronto's Roasters with that giant jet engine and the robot that's working the fake rotisserie. The concern is there too much in here? We're just not moving people through line because they're like, oh, I forgot. I should step up and make my order.
It is a sort of a convoluted, no, convoluted is not the right word. It's sort of a confusing setup there, like figuring out where you want to enter. Because if you're coming in from the Rise of the Resistance side, you don't see where the queue begins. The other thing I would say is it's not clear where you take the food to eat from Ronto's Roasters.
This is how it is with every theme park that's ever been built in the history of the planet. That you design it, you think this is how people are going to do it, and then you open it.
And then you see. And then you open it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The challenge with Galaxy's Edge is it was so hyper detailed and so designed straight into the ground that it's like when you go to make changes, you do your 3-day test and did that fix the problem? No. Okay, what's our next?
Yeah, what's the next? Start with the simple things and work your way up.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned the immersiveness of it, and a good friend of mine, Brad, visited Galaxy's Edge for the first time last week and absolutely loved it. He loved how immersive it was. Love the detail. But he liked the cast member interactions and the people who are pretending to be living on the planet. So he decided to test the depths of their story and their commitment to the story, because he decided he was going to be pro First Order during his visit. So he walked around thanking the stormtroopers for their service and telling them where they could find the rebel spy and other members of the resistance, which I love. He said he built this conspiracy theory about Snoke's death being an inside job just to see what the reaction was from the First Order. So he said apparently the stormtroopers have responses for this along the lines of like, thanks for being a loyal citizen, which we sort of expect. But he said the best part of it was that regular cast members, not stormtroopers, who saw him do this, either looked at him like they were appalled, like, oh my God, what are you doing? Or they just wouldn't interact with him at all unless they had to. They'd talk to his family instead, which which I love. That's a great idea. I don't know if the cast members are trained to do this or if they just figured it out, but it's kind of great.
The advantage to the cast members who've been playing the stormtroopers have been around the redone Disney magic of Disney animation, the launch bay for the better part of 2 years now. And they've gotten ridiculously good at dealing with the public. So they have their act down pat. To be honest, though, I'm more intrigued by the other cast members, the shopkeepers and that sort of thing. I love the fact that, what do you mean? Who are you ratting them out to? Oh my God.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic. The reason why I mentioned the story is that it's an important part of world building and things like this. And also, keeping the menu items with their original names all contribute to that world building. So I'm glad it's happening. I think it's a great story.
I agree. If you look back to your Disney history and how, for example, Frontierland used to have a sheriff and a bad guy that, they'd have gunfights in the street and that sort of thing. I'm looking forward to how, once we get into the side of Rise of Skywalker and with the opening of Rise of the Resistance, how they go about adding more life to this land.
Yeah.
But I love the detailing now, so they'll know where to go about it.
It's true. It's a good start. I think we all agree on that. Jim, another piece of news. The Earl of Sandwich chain has been recognized by TripAdvisor as the #1 fast casual restaurant chain in America. So if you're familiar with Earl of Sandwich from Walt Disney World or Disneyland, this is no surprise. They consistently rate as among the best quick service restaurants in the parks, so not entirely unexpected. Jim, the thing that surprised me in reading this press release is that the actual Earl of Sandwich is a real person named John Montague. Did you know this?
I remember back in the day when the Earl of Sandwich chain launched. I think he actually came over to Orlando for the opening of the one.
Yeah, he's only 76, so yeah, he probably could have made it.
Yeah.
So he's 76. He's part of the restaurant chain through a licensing deal. Technically, his title is Lord Sandwich. And again, with Johnny Champagne, we've got the makings of a fantastic band here, I think. So apparently the other owner's name is actually Earl, and that's where Earl of Sandwich comes in. It's a combination of both of those. This is fascinating to me, and I don't know why. But it also leads into a story. James, you have a story about Disney sandwiches that I've never heard.
I was looking over the offerings at this year's Food and Wine, and I saw at the Spain booth, they have a charcuterie in a cone.
I've had it.
Okay, so this is the thing that has olives, cured meat, and cheese, but they serve it in a paper cone.
It's okay. The thing, so I've had this a couple of times, actually. The olives, the cured meat, and the cheese are great. Here's the issue. It comes with a balsamic glaze on it, and the glaze gets around the outside, the inside of the paper cone. So as you reach in to grab the olives and the cured meat and the cheese, your hand gets coated with the balsamic vinegar. And that's part of it's a usability problem.
We're not animals. All right, we're at Walt Disney World. We don't eat food out of paper cones. We're supposed to eat them out of soft bread cones.
That would have solved a lot of problems. It's like the ice cream cone. It means you don't get ice cream cone on your hand. Ice cream on your hands.
Now, do you actually remember the Handwich? To give you some idea of how big this was supposed to be, Disney advertised this as Epcot's first food-based intervention. Was launched in the park with huge hype back in 1988. The sandwich board signs that they put outside of the booth that said, "Taste Disney's newest attraction, the Handwich." It literally was a round cone formed of bread. And of course, it being considered somewhat futuristic, it's not really a surprise that it went from being offered in the farmers market food court at the Land Pavilion to it also began to be offered at the Wedway Space Bar, that quick service place that used to be in Tomorrowland over at the Magic Kingdom. But the idea was that it was basically the shape of an ice cream cone, only a large, soft piece of bread. And over the 5 years it was offered in the park, you had your choice between a ham and cheese sandwich, a turkey sandwich, a tuna salad, or a chicken salad. There was a barbecue chicken and a veggie.
So you could walk around, hold this thing in one hand, and walk around the park, basically eating it like an ice cream cone, but it's a sandwich, a meal.
Yes.
How does this not exist today? How is this not on every street corner?
Do you remember the old Walt Disney World Inside Out show? At one point, for a food segment of the episode, it was all about the sandwich.
I'm down with this. Speaking of things that should be on Disney Plus.
Starting about 94, 95, for some reason, this falls off the menu. I can't get a straight answer as to why, because obviously there had to be a kitchen that actually made the bread cones. There had to be a setup for the food that was placed in it. So in order to even take this off the menu, there had to be, physical changes made behind the scenes. There were people within the Walt Disney Company who, like you, were like, why is this not a thing? And so we now jump ahead to 2011, 2012, when Cars Land opens at DCA.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Okay, all right. I know where you're going with this.
The Cozy Cone, where Sally, from that 2006 Pixar film Cars, had set up the hotel. And so they're going to recreate that as part of Cars Land for DCA, only they decide, well, we can't do a motel, but let's do a food court. And so they serve out of these various cone-shaped structures.
They're giant orange traffic cones that serve food. They're food stands, food kiosks in the shape of giant orange cones. Yeah.
But here, Glenn, they lean heavily into the dad jokes. So you get the chili con queso, which is beef chili served in a bread cone, and the bacon macaroni and cheese. In this case, determined to get as much business as possible, they not only do a lunch version, they do a breakfast version. They do a bacon scramble cone, and they do a salsa scramble cone as well.
Ooh, both of those sound delicious. Bacon scramble cone and scrambled eggs with salsa verde? That sounds delicious.
Yeah. So this launches in 2012, and there are folks in Walt Disney World who are like, okay, it's back. Let's grab it. So 2013, suddenly at Min and Bill's, they start offering cones as well. They do a sausage. Sausage marinara and mozzarella cone. They do a Cajun shrimp salad cone, which to me just sounds a little dicey.
Yeah, Florida heat, Cajun shrimp. Okay.
And then there was a bacon, chicken, and avocado salad cone.
That sounds delicious.
If we go up to the amphitheater where Fantastic is presented, they do a Fiesta chili cheese bread cone with chips, and they do a macaroni and cheese cone topped with bacon. And Downtown Disney gets in on it as well. Do you remember the old Marketplace Snacks place?
I do.
It's in these 3 locations at Walt Disney World. By 2016, it's gone. There are no more bread cones. Min and Bill replaces the bread cones with foot-long hot dogs.
To be fair, hot dogs had a moment starting in 2016.
Did they really? Okay.
Yeah. Remember Casey's Corner, we started seeing these high-end hot dogs with lots of premium toppings.
Okay, can we pause here for just a moment to talk about, with the recent change at Casey's Corner? Did I miss the moment when ketchup became a controlled substance?
All right, for our listeners, one of our writers, Aaron, was in Magic Kingdom on Friday, and apparently, on the day that Aaron visited, Casey's Corner had switched from dispense your own condiments to handing out small cups full of ketchup. So instead of being able to get all the ketchup or all the mustard you wanted, Disney started handing them out in little paper cups, like a couple at a time. And the reason why I think Aaron noticed it, she was in Casey's Corner, but the hubbub in the restaurant about the change to the condiment policy was driving people crazy while she was there. So she mentioned something about it on social media, and I think it blew up from there. And I think, again, they switched back. It's now like we're going back to the old the old way of doing things.
Good, because that I have a call into my doctor to actually get a note that Jim can.
I believe you have to make a
Jim
reasonable
should take
accommodation.
It. Give him 2 little cups of ketchup, please.
Exactly. Anyway, all right.
Just to sort of wrap up the Handwood story, it goes away in 2013, except it comes back in 2017 as an offering at that year's International Food and Wine. That year, they served a zesty cheeseburger and cheddar cheese macaroni version of the Handwich. It came and went. Sort of the last hurrah of the Handwich, if we go back to the Cozy Cone at DCA in Carsland, on the heels of the release of Cars 3, they added a Ms. Fritter, who, if you remember the movie, was the crazed school bus in the car rally. But they added a meatball confrontation to the menu, which was turkey meatballs and a habanero derby sauce with cheese crisp and spiral pasta.
It doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. With Epcot Forever going on right now and all of this leaning in to Epcot's heritage, wouldn't this have been the moment to bring back the Handwich? Not some stupid paper cone where you're getting not olive oil, it's
balsamic vinaigrette.
What is it? Balsamic vinaigrette. So makes me crazy. Paper cones. No, this is Walt Disney World. Where is my bread cone?
I would love to see each country do their own little take on the Handwich. I think that'd be fantastic for World Showcase.
I agree. Okay.
All right, folks, we're going to take a break from all of the food talk and to get our own sandwiches. When we come back, we're going to talk with our good friend Mike Scopa about our recent trips together to Walt Disney World. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
You don't technically need this car. You say that out loud to yourself. You say, I have no space. You say, I'm just looking. Then you click. Then you zoom in on photo number 87 and whisper, oh no. Then you text a friend, the one who always enables you. You say to yourself, this is the last one, knowing it is not. You don't need this car. But maybe, just maybe, this car needs you. Bring a trailer. It's never just a car.
Today we've got a special guest in the studio, recently back from a trip to Walt Disney World. Many of you know him. He's the host of the Mickey Miles podcast, formerly of the WDW Today podcast, a good friend of mine for many years. It's Mike Scopa. How's it going, Mike?
Is this Len from Amsterdam?
It is Lenny from Amsterdam.
Yeah. Well, I want to correct you. Mickey Miles podcast is in hiatus right now, but you never know.
We were on a break. All right, fair enough. All right. So for our listeners, the Lenny from Amsterdam thing is a joke between Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and I. Again, formerly of the WDW Today podcast. Mike Newell is attempting to break into radio on a daytime, early morning show, and I vowed that if he got the job, I was going to call in every day and be a regular, being Lenny from Amsterdam. Anyway, so Scopa, I saw you last week. We were in Walt Disney World together.
That's correct.
And you were there with your partner Michelle.
Yes.
And we were right before we saw Epcot Forever, which I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you had visited Not So Scary Halloween Party at the Magic Kingdom, and that it was much improved, and that I definitely needed to try it. So on that advice, I actually booked tickets for next week. But why don't you tell our listeners what you like about the new show?
So one of the things we tried last year was we tried the Not So Scary Dessert Party, which is where the Tomorrowland Terrace used to be. Well, still is, I guess. So it was relatively inexpensive. I think it was $75, Len, but the whole idea there was...
Listen to you, Mr. Moneybags, relatively inexpensive, $75, upcharge within an upcharge. Go ahead.
But the idea here is convenience. It has nothing to do with goodies and sweets and all that kind of stuff, because if you partake of the dessert party, you are then given special access to that area that is just in front of the Plaza restaurant, sort of like in a fast pass area. And what's
Really?
nice about that, Len, is that Michelle and I were able to watch I guess it was called Hallowishes last year. You could watch that. There was breathing when we're actually lying on our backs looking at the castle fireworks, where it was really, really
During the fireworks, you were on the ground, laying on your backs, watching the fireworks.
and there was nobody around. We were on the grass, and there was hardly anybody around.
Really?
Yeah.
And this was it. This was a special reserved viewing area.
This is their special reserved viewing area for those people who participated in the dessert party, and you could go in there. I mean, how many times?
Wow.
How many times in the past have we had to locate a spot 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes before the fireworks?
Oh yeah.
But we went in there about 15 minutes ahead of time, and you know how they have blocked off. It looks like there are four areas in front of the courtyard, you might call it. And
Yeah, sort of 4 quadrants.
the
Yeah.
4 quadrants. So we're in one of the quadrants, and my guess was that there might have been 30 or 40 people in there, and that's a lot of space for that many people.
That's a lot of That's 7 or 8 people per area. Yeah, you could have spread out a picnic blanket there and had some food.
So it was
Wow,
very,
all right.
very enjoyable. And one of the things that I mentioned to you last week was that we both have been going to Mickey's Not So Scary for a long time, and there have been many renditions of that party. One of the biggest things has always been the fireworks display, and it's been always known as Hallowishes. Well,
Right.
this year it's a little bit different, and I would go as far to say it's for all the years. I think I've been doing this for 20, 30 years, going to Mickey's. This was by far the best fireworks show, and I'll tell you why. Number one, they really are hitting home runs these days with projection.
Right.
I mean, you know how they do a very good job with the Star Wars fireworks. They do a tremendous job with this, because what happened was that they decided to put together a story. So you've got the Fab Five going through a haunted mansion, and it's shown up
and it's projected on the castle?
on the castle.
Oh, this is fantastic. Because remember, my criticism last year was that there wasn't a projection show, or at least nothing decent.
Right.
Okay, all right. So the Fab Five are going through a haunted castle. All right, good.
And and there's some music going on, but it's kind of all linked together, and you've got the projection is just outstanding, and there are no dull moments that you are saying, "Yeah, I wish this would get through so we can get on with it." It's just
Eat some candies.
it's just great. I'd say it's about I don't want to say 17 minutes. I want to say it's probably maybe 15 minutes, give or take a minute. But I really enjoyed it. And Michelle and I both looked at each other and we said, wow, this really was a story. They were telling a story as well as link up the music and the pyro together. In the past, you had Oogie Boogie singing, you had all this other stuff going on, legacy songs from the Magic Kingdom. But this really worked for me, Len. So I just, you gotta go. It's really
Go next week.
really, really good.
That's fantastic to hear, because I love almost everything about the party, but I think my big criticism last year was the fact that the fireworks and the castle show were not up to par with everything else you see in the Magic Kingdom on a normal day.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things that I think they have changed that I think kind of works against what I like. I loved the Villains Mix and Mingle. Now that's that Hocus Pocus thing. I'm not really a big,
It's for the
I'm not a
millennials. It's
fan
fine.
of that, but they have
Our time may have passed. It might be somebody else's time to enjoy TV shows.
and one of
That's
yeah,
all right. That's
yeah,
fine.
and one of the things they really did well is they route the people as they go into the Magic Kingdom for the party. So you go past Tony's and you go behind.
You go to the right,
to the
right.
right.
So that little walkway. Yeah,
And
that's
it's great.
fantastic.
And there were, I believe, around 14 different areas where you could get treats. We stopped at 5 or 6. The bag was full. It was just,
I've heard that Disney's being very generous with the candy the last couple of
yeah,
years.
very generous. So
That's great.
yeah, I think that it's the party, and I forget the prices on the party vary from depending upon if it's an annual pass discount, you get a good deal. But I think the Friday and the Saturday parties are more expensive than the Monday and Tuesdays.
Yeah, I'm going to a Friday party. There wasn't much of a discount. I think I paid $135 per person for mine, but that's fine. I mean, it's Laurel's favorite time of the year is Halloween. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is her favorite event at the Magic Kingdom, if it's as good as you say it is, money well spent. Did you happen to go on any rides? What were the lines like?
So that's what I wanted to mention, that they have put a little Halloween extra in some of the rides, some of the attractions. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I think one time in a podcast far, far away, we talked about some kind of things we would like to see to enhance or tweak an attraction. And one of the things I remember saying one time was, it really would be nice if once in a while in an attraction, instead of an audio animatron, it was a real live cast member doing something. That's all I'm going to say. So there are some attractions, I believe, Pirates and Haunted Mansion, and I forget one other one, that they have extra Halloween treats in there. So that is an added feature that I think is a long time coming. I really found that to be pretty cool.
What were the lines like for Haunted Mansion?
So Haunted Mansion was, I don't remember exactly what time of the night we went there, but it was about 30 minutes. Not too bad.
It's not bad. Not bad for that.
Not bad for that party, yeah.
Did you go back to the Magic Kingdom during the day at any point after the party or before the party?
We that day were at Epcot, Food and Wine.
So the Halloween party was your only trip to the Magic Kingdom?
I believe that's true. Yes, we spent.
Wow, that's funny because I think I told you this when we were together. Over the last 10 days, when I've been in the parks, I haven't been to the Magic Kingdom once. It's crazy.
Well, it's funny because you say that. I haven't been to Animal Kingdom in, I want to say, 3 years.
You got me beat.
Yeah. Right. So we spent.
We're going to talk about Animal Kingdom in a minute here.
Wow.
But you mentioned Epcot. There's a lot going on there. Yeah. I want to start with the show that we saw together. What's your take on Epcot Forever?
So Epcot Forever, and I've been listening to a lot of people. I've been talking to a lot of people and trying to put it all together. When I saw it first on the live stream, I had a certain reaction. Then I saw it with you, and I had another reaction. And then we saw it one more time before we left. We went to the Frozen Ever After dessert party.
Dessert party, right.
And we saw it from
Norway.
No, it wasn't Norway, Len. It was...
it's China?
You know where the Fast Pass area is for Epcot? For Illuminations?
Yeah.
So it's as you're looking at American Adventure, it's a little bit to the left. So
they moved it then.
Yeah,
so
moved it there.
That's interesting because the last night of Illuminations, they actually, I believe they had the dessert party over by Norway. But you saw it over to the left of World Showcase Plaza.
Yeah, it's basically to the left. I don't remember how much that was, but that was a very, we're sitting down. They actually has an open bar. They had lots of desserts, but I just wanted to sit and really take in Epcot Forever and try to really give it a good look over and see what I felt about it. And I know we talked about this before. The thing that I think is missing is I think that the music really has to tie in with what's going on. And I think that as long as I've been a Disney fan, I've always noticed that any type of nighttime extravaganza, any type of thing involving, you can talk about Christmas tags at the end of Illuminations, but they always build to a huge finale. And I don't know what it is about why they didn't do it, but I think that, and we both agree on this, I know, that piece of music at the very end just seemed out of whack, and I really would have liked to have seen
A Whole New World.
The Aladdin thing. And I know what they're trying to say, but I would have liked to have seen it end with maybe Tapestry of Dreams or Tapestry of Nations, because it sounded like it was ending, and then all of a sudden, A Whole New World. And I don't know. I think that, something just didn't seem right, and I would have loved to have been able to go in there and move around the music and stuff, and all that.
Exactly. Like we can do this slightly differently, and it would be it might be a little bit better. I think overall, I agree. There's I think we could restructure the songs to be a little more story oriented. We could orient them chronologically or geographically, right? That might be one idea.
Yeah.
I expect them over the next 12 months because I think it's going to run for a year. I expect some tweaks to the show. Maybe not huge changes, but a few.
Well, yeah, our mutual friend Jim Hill made a very, very wise statement. I agree with Jim. This was a cleansing of the palette for Illuminations. You really don't want to you would not want to put Harmonious right after Illuminations. And that's
right. Yeah, this was the point that you made. And I thought it was fantastic. We were walking out of Epcot after Epcot Forever. And I think you had said that if Disney had gone Reflections of Earth to Harmonious, the one day to the next comparisons would have been brutal from a lot of people, regardless of how good Harmonious may or may not
Exactly.
be. Right?
There's an emotional bond between the guests and Illuminations, because we're talking the last 20 years, and everybody, 20 years, a lot of things happens to everybody's lives over 20 years. So you got that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Harmonious, and I want to ask you this: did you get a chance to see the Epcot experience?
I did. I was going to ask you about that next. What did you think of it?
I thought that Disney has always been sort of the gold standard for multimedia presentations. They're always reinventing the wheel. One of the reasons why I like American Adventure, the way they use everything there. But I thought that the Epcot experience was just another taste of how they do things and how they can get people excited. And there is, towards the end of the Epcot experience, I believe we see a hint of Harmonious.
I agree. We saw that too with the lighting up other countries in World Showcase. What did you think of the projection technology there?
Just when you thought they couldn't do anything differently, they were able to reinvent that again. And so as they're going through each segment, you're watching the World Showcase model, or you're watching sort of the model of Epcot in the middle, and it's changing, and it reflects what they're talking about. They're talking about the digital aspect of what they're bringing to the park, and we saw that. The thing with Guardians of the Galaxies and Rocket Raccoon, that was pretty cool. I think that the Mary Poppins experience, they're showing all these different areas, and their transitions were so smooth. And then at the end, they were showing there is some type of a boat that has a moving arm with lights and lasers, and I'm thinking, if they can do that in the World Showcase Lagoon and have the right music, everyone's going to forget about Illuminations. I know they're going to forget about Epcot Forever, but they're going to forget about Illuminations too, because it sounds like it's going to be very much of a celebration. So I'm really looking forward to October 1, 2020. And I'll tell you, buddy, I'm going to be there.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be there too for it. Not the least of which is because it's going to come in the middle of Food and Wine. Did you get a chance to walk around Epcot and try anything at Food and Wine?
We did Food and Wine. One of the things that we wanted to do over the years is to plan for Food and Wine. So we spent about a week or two going over everything at home before we went there. So we had a list of what we we had a list of what we wanted to try, and what we wanted to eat, and what we wanted to drink. We also had thoughts from last year. Oh, what's carried over into this year? And for the most part, that's very much of a needed thing to do. It's very much, Len, like when we used to talk about getting back to the party, how we would say to folks, go to the City Hall, get your Not So Scary Halloween Party brochure the day before so you can plan. You're spending a lot of money for a few hours in the park, so you need to know where to go and do that kind of stuff. So we did the same thing. And the first day we did a few areas. The second day we walked around with a cast member friend of ours, and we did more. And I believe on Saturday, so we did Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in Epcot during the day.
Wow.
Yeah, and we noticed something very interesting. So on Friday, the first thing I had was, I don't remember where this is, Active Eats, the beef stroganoff.
I wanted to try that. Okay, go ahead.
Well, there's still time. So we had the beef stroganoff at around 11:30 in the morning, and it was very, very tender. It was as if it was being cooked. It had been cooked for 10 hours. Very tender. Didn't need a knife or anything. The next day, let me see, it was Saturday. We had it around 3:30 in the afternoon. Not quite as good, because obviously they're trying to cook it faster, but the morning meat seems to be more tender than the afternoon meat, and could be because they start real early and they're cooking it for a longer period of time.
Yeah, I think the longer you cook beef, the tougher it's going to get. That's over at the Cheese Studio, right? In
I believe it was the Cheese Studio. Yeah, we found that to be really good. One of the things that I think was a home run was the Appleseed Orchard. I believe it's where O Canada is played.
Oh, I didn't. I still haven't had a chance to go over there. What did you like about it?
So you go in there, Len, and on one side there is it's all about the beer, and on the other side it's well, it's all about the beer and the wine. And on the other side, side,
hey, come on, all right,
it's
Canada.
all about the cider. So depending upon which side you go on, you can try a wine flight or you can try a cider flight, and they have cheese plates. So it's nice. It's indoors. It's nice and cool. I recommend it. That's a must see for this year's Wine and Dine.
You're not joking, because the Appleseed Orchard, the menu has what 15 or so drinks, and then the food is caramel apple popcorn or charcuterie plate.
Yeah, we did the plate. We noticed that this year there seems to be. It must be real popular, but there are a lot of flight offerings, and they're very small. For some people,
a couple ounces. I think each drink is a couple ounces. It's a taste.
Yeah, it's worth it, because then you can say, okay, if I go back, this is the one I want to try more of. So I thought that was good.
What else did you enjoy at Food and Wine? Michelle's vegan, right?
Michelle's vegan. Well, she's pescatarian. I almost every once in a while I say you're Episcopalian, but she's
Episcopalian, pescatarian.
So, she likes fish. I mean, so
pastafarian.
Spicy hand roll is always a treat. We always like spicy hand roll.
Oh, over in Japan, that was great. I tried that too.
We love that. We also like the liquid nitrogen ice cream and truffles.
That was amazing, wasn't it? Where did you try it?
Is that in Active Eats or Earth Eats? I'm not sure.
Describe it to people. I'll look up the location. Why don't you tell people about it?
It is a scoop of, I believe, almond and chocolate ice cream, and they take the scoop and they put it in liquid nitrogen for about 20 seconds, maybe, and then they put it on a plate, and it gives it a little like crust on the outside.
Yeah, it doesn't completely freeze it. It's not solid, not all the way through.
It's very good, and they also offer this at the Star Wars dessert party. I know that.
It was at my dessert party as well.
Yeah, so it's really a treat. And last year I met a friend of mine who was a travel agent, her 5 kids, and I said, "Come on, Uncle Mike's going to take you over there and
for some ice cream."
Yeah, so I think that's so. You've got things like spicy hand roll, and you've got things like the liquid nitrogen ice cream. Those seem to be just staples every year for Food and Wine.
Right? Did you make it over to Africa at all?
Yes. I tried the something lager beer. It's some kind of lager beer, Tusca lager or whatever. There were a lot of scallops plates. Yeah. And I think they all hit a home run. They're all done fairly well. Did the chicken korma, I believe that was in India.
I thought it was just okay. I like the spicy Kenyan vegan githeri slightly better.
Yeah, there was some stuff that was really spicy, and there was stuff that I expected to be spicy, and it wasn't. But all in all, I mean, I think it's a good experience every year. I remember when you and I first started going there. I remember the offerings were like $2. Now they're $4.
Yeah, $2.95. Yeah.
And I missed the high roast. Remember we had the high roast one time, the Greece.
Right.
And I haven't seen them since. I haven't seen Greece since. So, I think it's always good to go around, because one of the things that what we do, and I recommend this to everybody, don't go for something that you can normally have anywhere. Go for something that maybe you've never tried before, because you never know. You might like it. So I think it's a great opportunity to try something and really explore your world and figure out what else is out there besides pizza and whatever. Oh, one of the things I need to point out, I don't remember where. I want to say, again, it was in this Active Eats or I think it might have been Earth Eats, the Impossible Burger Slider.
Earth Eats, Future World West.
And the cottage, I think it was cottage pie.
The cottage pie, yes.
Oh my God. It was great.
Again, you know how I feel about wet and dry food touching. So cottage pie for me is like, it takes mental effort for me to get through it. I thought it was delicious. What did you think?
It was very good. I was real curious to see how this plant-based meat substitute would work with something in the order of a recipe like cottage pie. So I was really impressed. I know Michelle loved it too. So we actually go to I don't know if you have a Wegmans down there where you live, but
Wegmans, I know they're grocery
stores. You can buy Impossible.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You said this. You bought them in the grocery and you cooked them.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, we had some for lunch today. We had a burger for lunch today. So they come in 12-ounce packs. They're about $8.99 a piece.
It's not bad. It's about the right price for a burger.
Yeah, so it's
Fantastic. We're gonna have to do a cooking show here soon. You and
that's
me.
right.
All right. Let me ask you this question. Short walk away from Epcot is Disney's Hollywood Studios. Did you guys make it over there?
We did make it to Disney's Hollywood Studios. As a matter of fact, we really did not plan to go to the park, but with the Skyliners looking at us, we said let's try the Skyliner. So we tried the Skyliner, and it was very interesting. We were pleasantly surprised with the Skyliner, although I was a little concerned about every time it came in for a landing. It was really kind of close. But we went to the studios on the Skyliner. We had to stop off at the Caribbean, I think. So we went from International Gateway to the Caribbean to the studios.
Yeah, through Riviera, right?
Exactly. So we went to the studios.
What's your take on Galaxy's Edge?
I think I remember texting with you, and I'm saying, "Whoa, what's going on with Galaxy's Edge?" I expected a large crowd there, and I would say it was in your world. It's probably was a 2 or a 3, maybe, and I might be, be generous with that. The Millennium Falcon attraction was a 30-minute walk on. The immersion that takes place while you're in Galaxy's Edge, it's pretty cool. I would have liked to have experienced that at night. I'm guessing that it's even better at night, but it was not crowded, and I was trying to figure out why. I mean, we're talking food and wine. We're talking, I think we went over there on Friday, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, last week of Illuminations, first week of Epcot Forever, food and wine.
Yeah, wasn't crowded. Yeah. A lot of people buying, I think I commented to you, a lot of people buying $200 lightsabers.
Yep.
So maybe because it's Halloween, maybe they're going to Mickey's Not So Scary and they wanted to have the Millennium Falcon ride was a little disappointing. I do remember talking to you about it. You were telling me, I think you had ridden it out in California.
Yep.
So I said, boy, I hope I don't get to be the engineer, because Len said that's not going to be fun. Sure, I'm the left rear engineer pushing buttons. Don't know why, and I found the ride to be, I would expect that. When did Star Wars open? In '89? Star Wars 89, I believe it was, 90.
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll look it up while you talk.
I believe it's 89 or 90. It may not have opened when the studios opened, which I believe was in 89, but I know that at least by 1990 it was open. And I found that
87 in Disneyland.
Okay, so they brought that technology to Florida in '89. So we're talking 13. We're talking 30 years, and it seemed like that was the same technology that was being used in this Millennium Falcon attraction.
All right, probably not, but all right, I see your point.
It just felt like, I got the same kind of experience, and I don't know what you could do to change it, but that was something that we should probably talk someday on what we really think would like to see in Galaxy's Edge. But that was not the ride that I thought it was going to be. And one of the things, though, I did find as we were walking out is that the preteens loved it. Everybody else was, I heard one father say, I like Tower of Terror better. I like this better. I like Rock and Roller Coaster better. So it's not enjoying the popularity that I think many of the Imagineers would have liked it to enjoy, but we'll see. I think the lines are going to be telling over the next year or so how the waits are for that.
Well, we're less than 2 months out from the opening of Rise of the Resistance. I think that might help boost the land a little bit. Did you do any of the character encounters in Galaxy's Edge or try any of the food?
No, did not try the food. We did look at the blue milk, but
looked at it.
That was about it. I think we had something going on that night anyway, so we were watching our
we're gonna risk it.
So
yeah, I understand. And you said you didn't make it over to Animal Kingdom this trip.
Nope, did not make it over there. I there's nothing over there that draws me, and I don't know what it is. It's just that park. Maybe if they ever fix the Yeti, maybe I'll go over there.
If they fix the Yeti,
that's they've been talking about it for 10 years. I don't know what it is about that park, Len. I just don't. And I've been disappointed too with Rivers of Light, a few other things.
Yeah, that was a one and done for me. Now I can every time they try and they roll out something new, I can just watch it on YouTube to see if it's worth going. The reason why I mentioned Animal Kingdom though is they're completely redoing the entrance to that, so getting in is a little bit of a maze now. In order to get your take on that, but maybe on the next trip.
I don't remember which race it was. Maybe it was Wine and Dine. But do you remember? You might have done it one year with me when you ran into Animal Kingdom. You ran underneath a tunnel of elephant tusks, orange elephant tusks. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, but
that was kinda cool.
but usually by that time I'm delirious from the distance and the humidity and stuff like that. So I don't remember a lot from that point on.
Well, it makes sense that the Animal Kingdom would join Epcot and all the other parks in having the front of the park, moved around. Wow.
Yeah, I do say that I do think that the entrance changes that they're making in Walt Disney World have been pretty good overall. The studios looks really good, way easier to get in and out of these days now. Magic Kingdom, I don't normally go through the TTC anymore, but it looks like they're getting a handle on that. Certainly the entrance of the park itself at the Magic Kingdom is fantastic. I'm excited to see what they do at the Animal Kingdom. I think it could use some refreshing, so that'll be good. And I'm also excited to see what they have over at
yeah,
Epcot.
I think the Epcot one is the one I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, the most, I think so. Where did you stay this last trip?
I like to spread it around. So over the years, I'm usually in one of 12 resorts, and
You keep it to only 12, do you,
just
Mike?
12. So
You specialize, in other words. All right,
over the
good.
last year, we've done Bay Lake, we've done Animal Kingdom, Wilderness Lodge, Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk,
It's good to be you, Scopa. All right, go ahead.
and this past trip we did Port Orleans French Quarter.
All right.
So-
It is I believe one of the highest rated moderates. What made you want to stay there?
It always depends upon what type of a trip it's going to be. So we knew we were going to do Mickey's Not So Scary, so we thought, let's do French Quarter. And what's also nice about French Quarter, especially around Christmas time, is that you can take a boat to Disney Springs, which is really nice. So we picked French Quarter because it's relatively inexpensive, and there are very expensive room rates at this time of year because of food and wine. So we went there because it's a short bus ride to Mickey's Not So Scary, and so we stayed there. I'd say maybe once a year we'll stay there. We do like Beach Club. Beach Club is a nice place to be for Christmas. It's usually Beach Club, Bay Lake Towers, or Port Orleans French Quarter. In March, we're going to be staying at Copper Creek. We're trying that out to see what that's.
You haven't stayed there yet?
No, we were at Wilderness Lodge in July, I think it was, or August after the cruise. We like those little cabins they have.
They're very nice. They're expensive, but
Are
they're beautiful. Yeah, they're well. I mean, they're about 2/3 the cost of a Polynesian bungalow. So let's put that in perspective.
Wow.
But they're beautiful on the inside. Really, really nice. I actually like them better than bungalows, even excluding the price. I think the scenery is a little bit better.
Can they sleep 12?
I think it's 2 bedrooms, so you would be 2, 4, 6, 8 maybe
okay.
tops.
Yeah.
Still fantastic. Good. Did you eat any good meals at outside of the theme parks while you were there?
On the day we were taking off, we spent some time in Disney Springs, and we went to Splitsville. You can't go wrong.
Did you really?
You can't go wrong in Splitsville. Pizza, sandwiches,
Sushi,
whatever. So I had my Tom Brady game shirt on.
Of course you did.
And so the guy who was bringing us to our table had a football in his hand. So at the last minute,
What?
Yeah. So at the last minute, he takes us to the table and he turns around, and he tosses the football to me, and I catch it. And he said, "Does it feel familiar?" And it was deflated. So it was still fun. But
that's a
he
shame.
changed the screens where we sat down so we could watch the game. So we ate at we ate at Splitsville. We ate at it's been a while, Len, but we ate at Tutu Italia.
Did you really? I tried to get in there the other night and couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was very good. I'm tough on Italian.
Really?
I'm tough.
So let me pause for a second to give our listeners some context. In my hierarchy of incredible pizzas I've ever eaten, right? My grandmother's traditional Italian pizza is number 1. My younger sister Christina's pizza, number 2. You're in the top 3 in all the pizzas I've ever eaten.
I'm
right?
on it.
I trust your opinion on Italian food.
So it's all about the sauce. You know that. Remember when we went there?
Yeah, it is,
We ate one time with, I don't know who was there, Brian. We went there, and I forget what I tried, but I'm very careful. I'm very careful in there, and it was okay.
Do you go red sauce or white sauce?
I will be very careful about ordering any red sauce in an Italian restaurant. I'll go with Alfredo.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ruin Alfredo sauce.
Screw it up as much
because there's a wide, there's an extremely big palette for red sauce.
Yeah, red sauce can encompass so many
Garlic,
things. Yeah.
sugar, salt, you name it.
Peppers, onions.
so-
Yeah, I mean, people do
Yeah,
things. Yeah.
so I try to avoid that, and so I forget what I had, but it was good. So we ate there. I do like the I forget the name of it. There's a franchise seafood restaurant down in Florida that I really like, Bonefish Grill.
Where'd you find that? I mean, they're off site. The one that I know of is at Mulawalani.
There's one near what they call the Loop, and we like it there. But we didn't go. So we're very, very careful because we knew we'd be doing food and wine, so we didn't make any reservations. Although on Sunday we thought we'd have something before we flew home. So we were in downtown Disney. We're trying to figure it out. Not downtown Disney, Disney Springs. So we're thinking. We did try Haleo. We tried that last time. It was okay. I need to give it another chance. It was Spanish food. If it was Portuguese food, it probably would have tasted somewhat different than Spanish food. So I gotta give it some chance. So it was either that or Homecoming or Splitsville, or we thought about the Edison because of the Impossible Burger, and I forget that Asian restaurant, Morimoto, which gives you all types of options. So we decided to just do Splitsville. You can't go wrong with Splitsville.
Right, the menu's so big. Next time you go, when we're there together, let's go to Haleo. I can walk you through some of the menu. I think some of it you'd really, really like. The flavors will be super familiar too. I also heard this from somebody from my team, Steve, who mentioned that STK has a really good and inexpensive lunch burger.
Really?
So if you're into actual beef burgers, STK's lunchtime burger I think is like $11. It's supposed to be pretty fantastic.
I'll have to have a partner who likes meat.
Yeah, maybe you and I'll go. We send Michelle to the parks. Speaking of that, we'll wrap this up. When's your next trip, Mike?
So the next trip is probably going to be March in the spring. I haven't been down there in the spring in a while, so going to be doing that. There's a lot of stuff that going to be going through a lot of changes and things like that. So I think we're going to just take it easy. We did go last year around Christmas time, and it was great. You never know. We could pop down there around Christmas time, but
like I said, there's always a spare bedroom at the Testa Stewart household for you.
I appreciate that. But I think March might be the latest we're going to. And again, we did a little plug for DVC rental. We did DVC rentals for Copper Creek, and after we made the arrangements, just for the heck of it, I checked it out, and the price of I think it was a studio, I think it was, but the cost of the DVC rental was half of what it would be if we paid cash.
renting DVC points, especially if you've never done it before, is a great way to get a little bit more space and a little bit nicer accommodations for about the same money.
Yeah.
But in your case, it's half the price of cash.
Yeah.
I think there are times when it works out a little bit better than other times, but in general, I'm a huge fan of renting points if you're not a DVC owner. I think it's a great way to stay at a nice place.
And we are DVC owners, but we thought, well, let's give this a try. So you want to save save points for something else, and so Vero Beach or whatever.
Literally, I haven't been to Vero Beach. It's the only Disney resort in the United States that I haven't been to.
It's really good.
It's like an hour from my house. I didn't really need to go.
It's one of those places where you go for relaxation. So if you want to get away from the beaten path, that's where you go. You gotta go there, and they have some very good restaurants in that resort too. So, and there's a good place to run if you want to run across the street, run along the sand. It's pretty cool. But this trip was. There were some very interesting things. I think that I'm a little concerned about the number of construction walls that I saw.
Yeah,
I really have. Well, everywhere, and I really feel for those people who aren't as fortunate as us and can go every so often, and they save and save and save because it's really expensive. And they go down and they're faced with green and black walls all over the place. So
Yeah, Future World in particular, and the stuff over in Animal Kingdom is not the sort of thing that's going to end up in anyone's photo album. But I think it's all for the better, right? In 2 years, this will look a whole lot different, and they had to have made some changes in Epcot.
well,
right?
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing trees and grass and fountains and
It's gonna be nice. Yeah, water.
That
it'll be
Leave a
fantastic.
Legacy stuff is, and I was on one of those things. So goodbye.
Your face was on one of the pictures.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find it for you. I'll mail it to you.
Thanks.
All right, Mike. How can people find you and get in touch?
They can write to me at Mike Scopa at MickeyMilesPodcast.com. I don't know if I'll be able to get to everybody, but I'll try. You can always, send me something on Twitter, I guess. Mike Scopa.
And Mike Scopa.
Very simple, Mike Scopa. I know it's not very sexy, but I might be hanging around. You might see me pop up on a couple places here and there. I think I will be waiting probably another year and maybe 1 month before I'm back on Facebook, but we'll see.
You're in 1 month. Very very specific
Yeah,
schedule there,
well,
Mike.
If you read into that, you can figure out why. But anyways,
I understand. All right, Scopa. Thanks very much for being on the show. Good talking to you as always. Like I said, the invitation to come stay at the house always open to you. Just let me know.
thank you,
when.
sir. And the next time I do plan on going down, we'll get together and maybe we'll go to STK.
Let's do it for lunchtime burgers. It'll be good.
Great. Thank you, Len.
All right. Thanks, Mike. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the Disney Dish Show today. Thanks to our special guest, Mike Scopa. Please head on over to disneydish.bandcamp.com, where you'll find exclusive shows never before heard on iTunes. On next week's show, we'll have listener questions, and I'm headed back into the parks to see what's new. We are produced fabulously by Aaron Adams, who's giving tours of the Old Cotton Gin this weekend at the 21st Annual Dunn Cotton Festival in Dunn, North Carolina. While Aaron brushes up on the biography of Eli Whitney, please go onto iTunes and rate our show and tell us what you'd like to hear next. For Jim, this is Len. We will see you on the next show.